Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Customer brought me this mower a couple days ago, and I've been totally swamped. You can see everything's wet. My last couple days in the afternoon, it's practically rained all afternoon, and that really put a hamper on my repairs. So it's later in the day, the thunderstorms went by. I thought I'd knock this project out for this guy. He messaged me on another machine, and he said he had one that wouldn't start. He showed me a picture of this Crafty. It's a 725 190cc. It was built July of 2012. It looks like the engine number is 128 Mike 02-1612-Frank 1 2012. So he said it would start and stall. So he brought it to me, and I put it on the ground. I took some starting fluid. It started and stopped, so I figured it would be a carb issue. The model of this Craftsman is 917.370921, serial 120512 Mike 001838. So I've taken the liberty of already taken this thing apart to save time. So I'll show you the fuel. He had a full tank, and he didn't know anything about non-ethanol. This may be hard for you to see, but there is a, you could see it better right there. You see that layer of water that's settled down. So there is a little more gas in the tank. I figured draining this much off with that much water would be sufficient. So I've taken the liberty of cleaning the outside of the carb. I know you guys would have bitched at me. The needle valve was stuck in the up position. I sprayed some nitro down here to soften things up, and then took a screwdriver, small one, got in there and kind of worked it up and down. So I took it all off, cleaned up the needle. Looks like somebody may have been in here in the last couple years. The gasket here is really soft and pliable. This would not have been the original gasket. It would be dry and cakey by now. So I think this is going to work for us. I nitroed the two holes. So this is what was in the bowl. Can you see that? It looks like Jello. Looks like white Jello. So that would have been plugging up the system. So I'm going to clean this out real quick, wire brush that rough edge, put this back on. I did not see any blockage in the brass nut that I could tell. I blasted it out and it felt like it was open. So let's continue on with this project. If you want to see how to take this off, there's other videos, mine and all the other professional small engine mechanics. I'm just a shade tree guy that works out in the rain. I got some old gas here from another project. I'm just splashing it around the bowl to clean it up. So I had breakfast with the boys this morning. It was a good breakfast. Got to get caught up, talked about motorcycles, cars, life and life's complexity. So it was a successful breakfast. I'm ready to go another month. Then I'll need my shot of breakfast time. Okay, I call that fine for right now. So I am under an oak tree, so it's still dripping. Plus, I think out there in the yard, it's still sprinkling. But I got to keep going. I put this guy off one day already. He didn't seem to mind. I'm not sure what I'm going to charge him. I didn't take the recoil off or anything. I just concentrated on carb and fuel tank because I figured that's where the issue was. So maybe I won't charge him a heck of a lot. These are cheap aftermarket. You can get them for $7 or so, $7 or $8. They're not terribly expensive. This is an automatic choke, as you can tell, because of the double stem. Let's get up here. The air vane is a 1/4 inch and then tends to hold the carb on. So let me get busy. Hopefully I'm not hampering your viewpoint. So let's start with the throttle linkage. I'll put the Z-bend in the plastic, line up my holes. The O-ring is still back there. I didn't change that. So let me grab the two bolts, get those started. Like I said, they're 10s. I've got other videos out there where I do the quantums, take off the recoil, oil the recoil. I've already tightened up the head bolts. Head bolts were loose on this. So 2012 machine, maybe hasn't been serviced. But like I said, I think the carb has been messed with. That's a really soft and new bowl gasket. But there was a ton of dust built up on it. So I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago it was serviced, maybe. Definitely not the new one. That would have been dried out, cracking with white crust. Okay, a little tighty there, little tighty on that side. Come back over here, a little 1/8 of a turn, 1/8 of a turn. Perfect. Okay, we'll get the air vane started. Put the notch down into the plastic choke. Grab my 1/4 inch. Let me get a 1/4 inch ratchet. Okay, snug that down. It's free and clear. Grab the spring, which is already hooked up to the inner tab. Come out here and put it on the plastic tab. Kind of getting hard to see. I'm happy with that. What's next? Put the fuel line on. Okay, I got nearly all of it because I looked in the tank and I can't see any fluid or gas, so there may be some down here. What I might do is just give it a little pour here and then stick it in the nipple. Okay, that was a little pour. Let's come up here. I'm just going to try starting it with the fuel remaining in the tank. Probably should have drained it all, but this is an experiment. I think I got all the moisture out of the tank. The water's going to settle there. The water came out first, and then the top's going to be all gasolina. Okay, backing plate. Put that on. Maybe I'll blast it off. There's some moisture. I had to run for cover. I threw a piece of plastic over this when it was raining. We had a pretty good thunderstorm. That's good enough. This isn't the space shuttle. Okay, put my gasket on the back of the backing plate. That's not as critical. This isn't a priming unit. Gasket's got a little bit of a tear. This is what we need to make sure it's working, is the choke air vane. Okay, set that there. 8mm on these. Get these started. It's going to get a little darker early. Sun's way behind the clouds. We still got cloud cover. But it's not going to take me long to finish this up. We'll lower the table. Tighten them up there, go back. Little snuggy, snuggy, snuggy. This was his filter. I'll probably just give it a quick blast. Genuine briggs-stratton 491-588 SAM. So maybe 40 or 50 is what I'm thinking to do this. It'd probably be 60 if I did the recoil. Maybe 40. That way he can keep using his. He doesn't have to buy mine. And maybe he'll come back for a blade and oil change at some point. He didn't know anything about non-ethanol, as I mentioned earlier, so we'll school him on that. So hopefully he won't be back on a carb issue. Only thing I would see as an issue is the bowl gas getting dry and leaking, but that one was nice and soft, so it does have oil. I checked that. I didn't even look at the blade. Maybe you can get another season out of the oil, but that's going to need to be serviced. I guess I'm confident this thing's going to run as I'm putting it all back together. Yeah, with the amount of Jello and water, this thing was never going to do anything without manhandling it. Okay, everything looks tight. We leaking gas we shouldn't be, so let me just check. Oh, drier than the baby's bottom. The other thing I noticed was the plug was loose when I did the head bolts, so I'm gonna grab a socket, tighten that down, and we should be good to go. So I don't know how well this thing ran for him when it was running with a loose plug. Okay, that's tightened up with a 13/16 Champion RJ19 LM. Put the plug wire on. Okay, I'm gonna just check the oil one more time. Yeah, we're in between the holes on the dipstick, so we got enough. It's not overfilled, not underfilled. Rear wheel drive, Crafty, 2012, still kicking. Still kicking. Came with the side chute. I took that off to get it out of my hair. Okay. Just getting organized, getting my air hose out. I don't want to chop that into 20 pieces. Let's back this thing down. Nitro, you gotta move. Don't want to knock nitro down. Okay, he's got this thing really low. Really low to the ground. Okay, this is one of these ones that one tab adjustment. Okay. 1, 2, 3, pull. 1, 2, 3, pull. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, pull. 3-pull Annie. I went to engage the Easy Walk rear wheel drive, and I had no action here. So I don't know if it's wheels, plastic gear on the wheels, or is it a cable thing? It's got this adjustment up here for the cable length. So let's just try removing one wheel and see if it's got any meat on it, and I'll send you home. Maybe I'll message the dude and say, hey, the rear wheel drive is an op. Okay, what do we got here? Is that 9/16? Come on, you guys. You guys should know. Tell me. Or can I use 14? Okay, I got a 9/16er. Okay, it is. Do. Okay, let me get a little block of wood. So these are kind of oddball, rear wheel drive, high wheel. These are probably really expensive. 2012 model year. These are uncommon. Oh, it's got a metal gear. Okay, so that's better. The ring gear here is tight. So maybe it's just an issue with the cable. Okay, so that's good. Metal and metal. As you know, some of them have a plastic gear here and they get chewed up. You got a metal gear on the axle and it ends up chewing up the plastic here. So metal on metal, I don't see a lot of wear. So just for the fun of it, what I'll probably do is mess with the cable length tomorrow, help the guy out. He didn't mention anything about, he was just pushing it. He just says it would start and stall. So I'll look at it. If it's just a cable adjustment, I'll throw that in. Maybe I'll do $50 if I can get the rear wheel drive to work. I'll do 50. Carb clean and the adjustment, $50 out the door. Don't take it to the parts store. Let Tommy Time do the rhyme. Okay, so I'm just messing with the adjustment up here. Just turning the turnbuckle by hand. Turned it down about 5 turns, so let's see if that made a difference. If it didn't, I'm sending you home because it's still raining out here. I don't want my Apple product to be compromised. Okay, so that was a failure and I lied. I'm going to look under here and see if the belt's even attached, or can we even see the belt? And that's a bolt. You know, I shouldn't be turning that. You guys are going to kick my ass. Oh boy, there's enough caked up shit in here. Look at all that. That's not helping us. We got a bird's nest. See if I can see the belt down here. No belt. Adjust it all you want, Tommy, because there is not a belt on this crap box. So he saves 10 bucks. So did it break or fall off? Oh, there it is. There it is. Fell off. This thing got sandblasted. Trust me, it's here. I was going to try to pull it through that hole, but you can see it right there. The belt's intact. So I'll do it tomorrow. Blade comes off, remove the cover, get rid of all this. Wow, that's a lot. Get rid of all this. It's really packed in there. Put the belt back on. I'll have plenty of access when this plastic's off. So I'm going to get my 10 bucks. It's going to be 50 bucks. That's going back where it should. He'll be surprised. I won't say nothing. I'll just say, here you go. No, I shouldn't do that, because then he'll just keep pushing it for the next 3 years. I got to tell him it works, because he'll never grab the easy walk again, because he knows it hasn't worked for who knows how long. You guys tip your waitress and wait staff? Adios, amigos. Thanks for coming out. 2012 Crafty Platinum Edition 725. The big beast is still alive. See you.